Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, along with Paulina Leiser. And, well, it's the morning after the night before.
That was fun.
It was fun, yeah. You know, this whole election cycle thing. I want to say one thing to, and I know this is a little localizing everything here at the Dove, but I want to say to Chris Walker and her crew in Jackson County, and I'm sure you have the same kind of service in other counties, but man, they have really improved the system down there. Mm-hmm. You talked to her on many occasions. They put in all the new machines. She's on top of it. She's done an excellent job, her and her team down there, and got the results out right away. There was no malfunctions, no nothing. And I just want to say to Chris and everybody down there, thanks for the long night and the long hours.
Yeah, not only is she on top of things, but she's so energized about it, and she loves this process. She's been a clerk for so many years. So yeah, Chris did a great job. But we had several local races that we're learning the results right now. Of course, the gubernatorial race in Oregon has got some unexpected somewhat results, with Bud Pierce being at the top. Yeah. I guess it may be expected for some, but he was a new person. And I really enjoyed meeting him. He was here on the Dove. And then we had the Secretary of State race.
Well, the Secretary of State's race is a big one. As you know, Dennis Richardson, who in the last election cycle for governor ran and didn't win, but he still stayed very active. He served his Southern Oregon House District for quite a few years and has decided to run for Secretary of State. And I can't think of a person who's more qualified to be Secretary of State than Dennis Richardson. Well, he won significantly last night on the Republican side, and I think we have him on the phone. Are you there, Dennis?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was an exciting night.
The percentages are very interesting, and it looks like you're in for a pretty good battle this fall. But you, overall, as far as votes casted last night, you got more than Brad. But again, the Democrats casted more votes than the Republicans. So what's your strategy from here on out?
Well, it's to show what a distinct difference there is between Brad Abakian's attitude and mine. I mean, he's already asked for investigative powers and said that he's going to use the 72 auditors in the Secretary of State's office to go after private businesses, which means to avoid going after and exposing the corruption and the waste that occurs in state agencies and departments and programs. And mine is the opposite. I mean, he wants to be a prosecutor against private enterprise, and I want to be a bright light and a public servant to help businesses thrive.
Well, we kind of saw this already. I mean, he's the one that went after the cake company, and so he obviously has that in his thinking. But the job of Secretary of State, how do you view the job?
Well, I should be like a GAO for the state of Oregon. I mean, I think we're the only state that has the state auditing capacity in the Secretary of State's office. And so it should be an independent office, nonpartisan, that focuses on ensuring the people's money is well spent and exposing the corruption, the waste that is rampant in Oregon, in state government. And so I will use it that way. I'll renew my email newsletter again and keep the people informed of just how corrupt things have been. And when we find good things being done by very positive public servants, we will applaud them as well. But the goal is going to be to help open the state up and make it more accountable, transparent, and show integrity.
Thank you. Let me scratch your brain on a couple other things while I have you for a few moments. Bud Pierce came out of nowhere, ran a very successful campaign, and took the nomination last night on the Republican side for governor. What did you think of that campaign?
Well, he was in it to win it, and he invested somewhere around $1 million of his own money to make sure that he was going to be able to win. And he fought a hard campaign, and he's a good man, and I look forward to working closely with him while we're in this campaign together.
All right, so for those who don't understand, maybe you can explain it to us, but Kate Brown took over from John Kitzhopper, and then the rules say that she would have to run again at the first election cycle, which happens to be this one. And then if she is elected, she's only elected to finish out his term, which would be 2 more years. So the question I would have is, if she... Oh, we're missing something here. Are you there, Dennis?
Yes, I'm here. I lost you
Okay,
for a second.
sorry about that. So my question is, if she gets elected, she only serves for 2 years. If Bud gets elected, he would serve for 4?
No, this is a 2-year election.
Oh, for both?
This is an interim election, and in
Okay.
2 years, we get back on the constitutional 4-year cycle again.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that, because I thought that if the Republican won, that would be that cycle starts again. So thanks for clarifying that. Well, best to you. Congratulations. Stay in touch, and you got a big job ahead of you between now and November. But it looks like you got great momentum, and people really want to see you elected.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks for your support. I'll keep you informed.
All right, thank you, Dennis. All right, Dennis Richardson with us this morning. I know it's probably been a long night for some of these guys.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to get in touch with them because a lot of them were celebrating, a lot of them was processed, and I know that some results are still coming in. So, but good job, Dennis.
Yeah.
Good job for sticking to it.
Well, he did it. And again, you got to kind of look at some of the other numbers. And I kind of jotted these down. Over 430,000 votes were cast for that position on the Democratic side, because there were numerous candidates, and there were 295,000 votes cast on the Republican side, which primarily it was Dennis. Now, Dennis won by almost 78% of the vote, and Avakian won by 39% of the vote. So where it was a big win for Dennis in numbers and percentages, it was also, it shows you where the battle's going to go, because a lot of Democrats did turn out to vote for that position. So these are things we'll kind of keep an eye on. I don't want to bore you with all those numbers, but that's what's happening.
But I do have a question about that. So Oregon primary is a close primary. What about November election? Can you cross vote for the party?
Yeah, in
candidate?
November you'll get a general ballot, and you can vote any way you want. Yeah.
Because I have some friends who've been registered Democrat, and then they wanted to vote on the Republican side, weren't able to for the primary. But in November, that would be fine.
Well, I got to tell you, listen, when I was chairman of the party for 4 years, I fought this issue almost daily. The pressure to have Oregon go to open primaries. And folks, look, you just don't want this. It would destroy the conservative movement in any state, an open primary, because people are free to do what they want. Now, I will say this. I think on the state level and on the national level, the Republicans have really dropped the ball. And it's caused a lot of people frustration to where they have moved out of the party and registered independently. Now, when I've done the survey on those, I will say that the independent vote swings primarily in a geographic area. We know that an independent vote in northern Oregon, in the Tri-County area, will probably swing to the left. We know that an independent vote in eastern Oregon and southern Oregon will probably swing to the right.
Yeah, but the close primary kind of makes sense, because right now we're not picking a president, for example. We're picking a nominee. So it's the party that should decide who is the nominee. So it makes sense. I just, in the general election, I guess it's nice for people to have.
You know, here's something that's never talked about in all of this. You'd have to understand the campaign finance laws as it relates to these election cycles. And we'll take a break. When we get back, I'll explain what happened to me when I was chairman in the middle of that, because the national campaign finance, called the I forget the name of the bill, but the campaign finance laws changed and puts more pressure on a party than it does on a caucus, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.